Welcome to the May 2018 Progress Report demonstration of the HAR to CAM web conversion project. The majority of Deliverable 5 is covered in this month's Progress Report. Task 5.6 is the payment plan modal. Task 5.7 is the audit history for payment plans. Task 5.8 and 5.9 provide the ability to apply and unapply credits and see the credits applied to other invoices. Task 5.10 creates a history of deposit slips generated from applying or unapplying credits. Task 5.11 is the ability to initial and complete deposit slips within the system. Task 5.12 displays the history of refund requests for a credit invoice. Task 5.13 is the modal to make a new refund request and submit it for approval or denial. Task 5.14 is the ability for a supervisor to concur with the approval or denial of a refund request, or to require that more information be provided. Task 5.15 is the ability to view payment history of a PMATF invoice. Task 5.16 through 18 will be addressed in June's Progress Report. Task 5.19 creates PMATF invoice PDFs based on revenue type with specific wording and formatting. Task 5.20 is the screen for printing batches of invoices and where PMATF invoices can be voided. Task 5.21 is the print job that collates invoices by facility to group invoices together. Task 5.22 is the screen for printing batches of second notices. Task 5.23 creates second notice PDFs based on revenue type with specific wording and formatting. Task 5.6 allows users to set specific payment plans that can be used to adjust expected receivables. Here is an invoice screen. Notice that the payment plan checkbox is unchecked, indicating that there is not a payment plan. We will select the Payment Plan button. The Payment Plan window opens. We must select the first due date to set when the first payment is expected. Date. Next, we will select the final due date. This date is used to determine when the balance of the invoice is expected to be paid in full. We will enter the number of payments in the payment plan. Then, we will select the payment frequency. We are able to choose between weekly, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, and annually. The system will determine when the payments are due in between the first due date and the final due date based on the number of payments and payment frequency. We will enter a comment about the payment plan. Note: the payment plan is set to active. We can uncheck this box if the payment plan is no longer valid. The Is System checkbox will be checked if the payment plan is created by the system in certain circumstances, which will be covered in later demonstrations. We will click the Save button to save the payment plan. Task 5.7 is the audit history for the payment plan. This can be viewed by selecting the audit history icon in the payment plan modal. Here we can see a new screen that displays the date of changes made. Note that the fields listed were changed from blank to what we entered in the payment plan, which is listed in the Changed To column. We can also see the user that made the changes. As with all audit histories, we can export the list to Excel using the Export to Excel icon. Returning to the invoice screen, we can see that the payment plan checkbox is checked, indicating there is an active payment plan. Here we see an example credit invoice. These are invoices created from overpayment or manual adjustments to invoices that result in a credit. This screen displays a Created By field to show the reason for this credit and what the related invoice is. It also displays the credit and refund information with the deposit number and check number that resulted in the overpayment. Next to the Apply Credit button is a checkbox for Available. By default, credits will be unavailable for the first 45 days to prevent return checks from being used as overpayment credits. With the correct permissions, a user can override this by checking the Available checkbox to make the credit immediately available for credit or refund. To apply a credit to another invoice, select the Apply Credit button. Task 5.8 is the Apply Credit screen. We can see the list of available invoices. These are invoices that are from the same facility that have a balance due. We will select the Apply button. Task 5.9 shows us the invoice items to be paid. We will enter the amount in the Applied Amount field and select the Save button. Because this action is immediate, a confirmation dialog is displayed. We will select the OK button. We can see that the applied amount in the Available Invoice table shows the amount of the credit we applied toward the invoice. To demonstrate Task 5.10, we will select the Deposit Slip icon. Here is a list of the deposit slips created by the system from applying or unapplying credits. To view the deposit slip and demonstrate Task 5.11, we will select the deposit number. The deposit slip opens in a new window. It displays the FLAIR-related information. Unlike the existing deposit slip, which must be printed and signed, this allows a user to initial electronically by selecting the Initial button. The name of the user will appear in the Initial column. After initialing each transaction in the deposit slip, we will select the Complete button. This will mark the deposit as posted and display the name and date. We can return to the Apply Credit screen and unapply the credit by selecting the Unapply button. The credit is unapplied and returned to being available. To demonstrate Task 5.12, we will return to the credit invoice and select the Refund button. Here we can see the refund request history. To start a refund, we will select the Request Refund button. This screen is from Task 5.13. The refund date defaults to today's date. We will enter a refund amount, a reason, and attach a file. At least one file must be uploaded for documentation purposes. To upload a file, we must enter a description of the attachment and select the Choose File button. Find the file on the computer and select it. Select the Open button. Select the Upload File button. When the file is uploaded, it will be displayed in the Attachments table. We now have the option to send for approval or send for denial. In this example, we will send for approval by selecting the Send for Approval button. The refund request has been added to the Refund History table. We can see the amount to refund, the requested on date, and requested by user. The status is set to Submitted. A supervisor is able to go to this screen to process the refund request. We will select the Refund Request ID. Task 5.14 is the screen for supervisors. The screen displays the information entered by the requester. We have the ability to agree with the request for approval of the refund, or we can return it to the requester for more research. We will approve the request by selecting the Approve button. A confirmation dialog will be displayed. We will select the OK button. The refund request has been approved. The table shows that the status changed from Submitted to Approved, and updated the processed on date and processed by. We will now return to the invoice details screen. To demonstrate task 5.15, we will select the payment history icon. Here we can see the record of applying a credit, unapplying a credit, and the refund. Task 5.19, 5.20, and 5.21 are related to the printing of invoices. Here we can see the Print Invoices screen filtered to specific dates with a status of unpaid. To print the selected invoices, we will select the Print Invoices icon. A confirmation dialog will be displayed. We will select the OK button. A PDF will be displayed that collates the invoices based on facility so that the revenue types are grouped together for easy mailing. The variables such as return address and governor name are pulled from the document's default screen, which was covered in a previous demonstration. We can come back to the Print Invoices screen after printing the combined PDF and select the Mark All as Mailed button. A confirmation dialog will be displayed, letting us know the number of invoices we have selected in the filters that will be marked as mailed. We will select the OK button. Here we can see that all of the invoices selected were successfully marked as mailed because the filter for invoice mailed is set to no, which results in no invoices to display. Here we can see the Print Invoices screen filtered to an invoice range of 3 invoices. We will demonstrate the Mark as Void action. This is used sparingly by users with the appropriate security permissions. We will select the Mark as Void button. Because this action can cause issues with true-up adjustments, it should be carefully considered. Therefore, there are multiple warnings. Here you can see the warning message and that we must select Mark as Void again. There is one last confirmation dialog as the void action cannot be undone. We will select the OK button. Here we can see the success message. Note, the system will not allow invoices that have a status of returned, which is due to debit memos, collections, write-off, or credit to be voided. If the batch of invoices contains any of those, the system will skip those and void valid invoice selections. Note that the status for these 3 invoices has been changed to void. Task 5.22 and 5.23 refer to the second notices. Here we can see the second notices screen filtered to a specific date with a status of unpaid, where the second notice has not already been mailed. We can select the Print Second Notices icon. The second notices are collated the same way that invoices are, so that each facility will have groups of second notices for easy mailing. The document defaults populates the variable fields on the second notices. By creating this PDF, the system marks the second notices as mailed, which we can see as our filters no longer display the invoices that have second notices marked as mailed. This concludes the progress report demonstration for May 2018. Thank you.